afternoon and welcome everyone to We the People on Disrupt TV Boston, or Disrupt Boston TV. I apologize. My name is Rhodes Pierre. I am your host, and I am here today with one of my favorite people in the world, a good guest, a local activist, self-described loudmouth citizen. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lauren Pespisa.
Oh, hey, I'm
Hi.
back on radio. Can you hear me?
I can. Actually, I can.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Welcome to the show.
It's been a minute. Good to see you, Rose.
Nice
How
to see
are
you too.
you?
I know. Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So it was, first of all, let's get this out of the way.
Okay.
Happy birthday.
Oh, yeah. Happy belated birthday as well to you too.
We're birthday
You know, birthday.
buddies.
Yeah, we're birthday twins, so we like to hey, February 9th. It's actually, you told me something very interesting. It's National Pizza Day. Or something?
Yeah, I think that's like more important, like I said, than our astrology, really. We're born on National Pizza Day, and it should just
No, that's. I mean,
makes
I
complete
love
sense.
pizza. Yes, and the variety of pizza, the ways you can actually improvise with it, is just amazing. From the different sauces and cheeses and toppings you can put to it. You can really personalize your own pizza. So.
Yeah, and you said they're going to start having pizza at the venue we're at
Yes,
soon.
you know what? Thank you for reminding. We are actually broadcasting live at Down the Road Beer Company. I like to say brewery, but this is like an amazing place. And right now we're actually in the heart of the beast where the magic actually happens, where they make the beer, can it, and brew it and all that good stuff. I don't know if you guys can see in the background with these vats. We've been here for a couple of weeks in different positions. They even have a canning machine here. So it's like when they get a batch of beer done, they lift up these cans and this machine individually labels them and packs them. They do 4-packs here.
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting venue. It's my first time doing a show from here. I like it.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you're here enjoying yourself. I'm glad that you actually came down and everything
Yeah,
to
why
do the
not?
show. And then wanted to actually let's just dive right into it. I know you're like I said, self-prescribed local activist, and give me a little bit of background about how'd you get involved with you being an activist and getting on the radio and all that good stuff.
Oh, geez. Many, many moons ago, we had this thing called Occupy Boston.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
And that's really when I kind of got my taste for getting involved in things. I'm still going to a lot of protests, and I like the energy of it. So I was involved in that. I was involved in a lot of sort of digital activism, tech stuff for a while, coding activism and stuff. And then I started doing the Young Jerks, which is also on this station now. But this was back in the day before at EMF, and I was doing that with Mike for a while, and you.
Yes.
We were
I was
a great team. We had
Yes.
such a good time. And, talking about cannabis, talking about local issues. And, I always loved doing radio. And so it was fun to be invited back.
I'm glad you're back because again, you were one of the first girls or people that I actually met on radio that had a background in computer coding and
Yeah.
getting involved, not just being out there protesting, but actually doing different things. And
Yeah.
So, are you still coding or anything these days?
Not lately. I've been laying low. I've, been overcoming some personal issues, which I am happy to say I'm pretty getting set on the right path with that. It's about time I get back into tech activism someday. A lot of my friends have gotten out of jail, like Barrett Brown and stuff. I want to get back into helping him and getting involved with some things. Anonymous had a heyday that I was involved in, and kind of, you got to ride the waves of what's happening, And right now, really, I've been focused on just local stuff because those are the people I know, those are the people I see every day.
Yeah.
And really, geopolitical impact is amazing, but the chance to make it is only happens once in a lifetime. Sometimes, but
Absolutely.
local activism, you can be consistent and you can do something and you can stand behind people. So
No, that is awesome. And then, speaking of local activism, what's the latest thing that you've been active about? What have you been getting to talk to the people about?
So, I mean, we both know what station we were on before. We were on WEMF radio out of Cambridge,
Yes.
and a lot of shows on this station now are from the EMF days,
Exactly.
from the unregular days before that, and
Yes.
it just happens. But at Cambridge especially, that building was special to me, that community was special to me, and that building, got sold, and we all had a diaspora, and it's, heartbreaking. So I like to be involved in a lot of what's going on in the Cambridge community now. And, we were occupying that building for a little bit and trying to hold on to it and fighting to protect local artists. And so that's really what I've been thinking about lately.
Yeah, speaking of protecting local artists, like what no, and that's the thing. Again, people don't understand like the arts are like really what the soul or the essence of a community and everything. So without the art, without the people producing art,
Yeah.
like you don't really have a society. I don't think, or it's not.
Yeah, big developers come in and buy out the buildings, and people who aren't really from here, that don't know anyone, that don't really like support the people who were part of that every day, that see each other kind of take over, and we all scatter. And some of us went to Brighton for a while, different places. So I would like to be able to get that home back in a way, not that building particularly, but to get that feeling of like we're part of something together.
Absolutely.
And connected, and
no, because it's like EMF definitely felt like a home, like the idea, like the stairs, the kitchen, the bathroom, like you knew that some people's homes were really there, and that like
and it's like that for housing with people living in Cambridge too. And I love Cambridge. Cambridge was like my mecca when I started working in tech, because I'm from the suburbs, and I started hanging out in Cambridge, and like it was just, I found my people in multiple ways. And, a lot of that's being pushed out. A lot of that's changing. And maybe I'm getting older. It was our birthday. So.
Well, I don't think, but there is a lot of change that is occurring.
The affordable housing stuff, all that. I'm getting off topic. I'm just all excited.
No, but
to be on
that
the air
is
again.
definitely a
Hi,
topic.
everybody.
That's a topic to talk about, especially for people living in Cambridge, is the idea of like, okay, or people in Boston in general, like affordable housing is a national issue. But again, as they say, think globally but act locally. So.
Yeah, and Cambridge is like a little microcosm of that. So I have been seeing, this week especially, this is kind of funny because I wasn't really even, I've been laying low, not involved in activism, but I saw this thing happen at the Cambridge City Council on Monday with Quinton Zondervan, city councilor, speaking about developer money buying city councilors, and the rest of the city council walking out and them calling a recess because they didn't want to listen to a letter he was reading about this. And it was kind of alarming. And then...
Wait a second. There was a letter about gentrification.
Basically, yeah.
And then the city council got up and walked away from it?
Yeah, exactly. And they called a recess, and it was weird and disrespectful.
No, that is very... It's like, I thought it was like you guys were elected to represent us.
Yeah.
You guys, so if people are talking or sending you a letter, you should be listening to what the people are saying. It's not corporations that are the people. It's we the people, not we the corporations.
Well, unfortunately, there's a lot of developer money in the Cambridge City Council. So, I mean, one person that, we know at EMF and we know in the local Cambridge artist community has decided to run for city council.
Who?
And his name's Johnny Barash.
Johnny Barash?
Yeah, you may know him from Cambridge's community television, clinical depression show, and among other things.
Oh, nice.
I know I've met him at WEMF radio back in the day.
So he's a local guy representing the people.
And there's just been a lot of momentum since he sort of said, well, you know what, I'm going to do this. Everybody's got on board. We're coming up with slogans. We're getting it into it. We're going to get signatures. This is going to happen. And, we remember other city councilors that we've known and had on our shows in the past.
Like Mike Connolly.
Mike Connolly, for one.
Yep.
Nadine.
Yes.
And Quinton. And there's others. And it'd just be nice to get some more people on our team again up in there representing us.
No, again, it's the idea of people actually representing the actual people they're sent there to represent, the people that actually voted for them.
Right.
And not hey, we got in, but now let me find out who my corporate sponsors are, and that's who I'm going to speak for or represent. And it is unfortunate that, again, it's one person, one vote, and that's the way it's supposed to work. But unfortunately, it comes down to one corporation, $10,000 worth of votes.
Right. Money talks. And but you know what? The local artist community that has been pushed out of Central Square, pushed out of Cambridge to some extent, that is still trying. We should rally our troops and just fight for it. I think we have something to stand behind. And we did that with the trying to protect the WEMF building, and that's still in the works. There's a lot that we've done, but there's also a lot that has been frustrating. And it's been like a wound in at least, my circle of friends and my friends from WEMF. It's been a wound in our community to not have that safe place to go to not have this stomping grounds that we grew up in anymore because some developer decided it was worth more to build a luxury condo there.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
well,
And
unfortunately, you said money talks, and then
yeah,
artists walk,
yeah,
and then that's the thing. It's wherever artists could flourish, that's when the developers want to come in.
yeah.
It's always funny. It's like, oh, the artists have taken over, and it's like, okay, ooh, so therefore people would want to live here.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they do. I mean,
yeah.
Cambridge is still a great place to live. Don't get me wrong. I wish I could afford to live there.
Me too.
Don't we all?
Yes.
We all. I'm in Brighton now, and
There's nothing wrong with
I
Brighton
love
either.
Brighton.
No,
Don't
no,
get me.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I'm just saying,
I,
but it is kind of funny how like the
yeah.
rents and the price of housing just keeps going
Right,
up.
and
how-
they're building these like luxury condos that like half the time aren't even lived in. They're like sold to these like big tech company owners that fly in every couple months maybe and have these big high rises. When like somebody who actually wants to stay in the city, that lives and work there, that has family there, really should be having access to that land and that space, and have some. There's got to be. I'm not running for city council, so I don't know what the solution is, but I definitely am seeing this pushing out of people, and it's happening all over Boston. It's happening all over the country.
Absolutely. No, and the thing is like, again, the housing market at a certain point in time, I guess like the market will bear what it can bear. So if like, all the homes go vacant and people ain't renting or buying no more,
Yeah.
then they'll understand that it's too much. But right now, again, that's one of the basic humankind's needs is like
Yeah.
what food, shelter, and clothing
Yeah.
are those things that like every man or woman, mankind needs to survive. And
Right.
they
And-
weren't supposed to be taxed technically, but unfortunately, the way the corporation that we call the United States of America
Yeah.
runs, everything that they said they weren't going to tax is now being taxed to the fullest. So
Yeah, and those taxes aren't going to things that are helping the people. They're helping the war machine. But
yeah.
we said,
Well,
when you first invited me on the show this morning.
Yes.
So
No, and that
I-
was because the reason we had another guest planned, but again, bureaucracy. You can't let the people talk. Again, it's a free country, but yet people have to like get permission from their department heads in order to actually appear on a show and talk. But
yeah, that happens.
It does happen. So.
I'm not owned by anybody,
Yeah. No, and I'm glad you're here. Like I said, it was awesome. Like, hey,
I don't need permission to go talk on the microphone on a
But
radio
apparently,
show.
if you work for the Boston
Yeah.
Fire Department or the Boston Police Department, you
Well,
got to get permission to talk.
I also don't run into burning buildings, so I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, that's true. No, well, that's not yet.
Yeah.
It's not
They'll
your
come on
chosen
again.
profession. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, we're waiting. She's going to get written permission because we're going to talk about fire safety, which is something that I think that should be talked about in the future show.
I bet she's
But-
got good stories too.
Oh, she does. I mean, like that was one of the reasons why she was like, "Yeah, I'll definitely come on and talk about these
Yeah.
things."
And this is a great space, by the way. I know
Oh.
we said it in the beginning, but all these like big brewery
Vats and
vats,
everything.
this
Yeah.
is so
No,
like
there's a-
industrial chic. I love it.
But you understand, like, actually, this building has a very interesting history. They used to do slasher films here, horror movies here, and also after a while, after they stopped making movies here, they actually had raves here.
Yeah, yeah.
So then,
I
what
can
they,
see that.
Yeah, they definitely refurbished the building. Usually, there's a beer tour that's going on here during our show. So today, that hasn't happened.
So would you say this is part of the gentrification of Everett as well?
Well, the thing is, because the casino's right
Yeah.
down the road.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's it's an industrialization, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
they're bringing in jobs.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
most of the
true.
people, but it's funny, the people that are coming here, like right now, I don't know if they can. Well, I know they travel from far to get here. It's not like they live right around the corner. Because that would be the ideal thing. Is like if you can work right where you live. So it's like, oh yeah, the commute is 2
Yeah.
minutes. Let me go downstairs.
Oh, that's what my commute is right now, and I'm super happy.
Oh, yeah, well,
so, yeah.
like working from home. Oh, I would then avoid all
Yeah.
that whole traffic and like the
Yeah.
frustration of like, oh, I have to get out, get on time, get the rat race kind of thing. Like everyone's on at the same time.
It
But
should be interesting to see what happens. I'm not really like well versed in Everett politics, so it's not like as home to me as Cambridge is. But
Okay.
it should be. I'd be interested to see what a lot of the local community feels about.
about the casino coming in,
yeah.
well, it's a wait and see. I would say it's a wait and see attitude. Wait. But I would speculate it's a wait and see attitude because right now they're doing so much construction,
Yeah.
the traffic and stuff, and they're still like, I don't even think they're completely licensed yet because they still have to be under review because if Wynn still kind of owns,
Right.
is it like the board,
Oh, yeah, that guy.
the commission or the gambling
They
commissioner of the
should do a
board.
review about the glare on the windows of the building because I got blinded like on my way here. Like somebody's gonna get in a car accident from the reflection of that Encore building.
Yes.
They should review that, get some more tints on there or something.
Well, it is kind of, it's a beautiful, and it's kind of the way it's shaped.
Yeah.
It's shaped like like that could actually do some damage because I guess like there's a building in London that did that the way the glass was set up.
Oh.
And when the sun hit it the right way, it would melt glass on on the floor. It would burn people on the ground and stuff. So that is something definitely to
That's some
look
bad
into.
planning.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, they don't. People don't really plan for the sun. They don't.
Even though we exist based on it.
Yes. They don't really think. I mean, the whole thing about like living for fossil fuels and everything, but instead of going with the solar, you know.
Well, that's happening.
Slowly but surely.
I hope so. It needs to.
It definitely does.
But it's kind of funny. Me and you are like the same birthday, and we both go off on the same.
It's just no. To me, it's just crazy the fact that like for years people have been saying this, and if you even go back with the scientists have been saying this. They have been advocating that hey, we can't keep doing this. We're destroying the planet. We're destroying our environment.
And that was actually something that Quinton was bringing up at that Cambridge meeting about how the developers are not helping. They're going to cut down a bunch of trees. They're not green development. It's, it's helpful for making money, but it's not helping the environment in Cambridge. And, we actually try to be, I hope Boston can be a leader as a green city and Cambridge can be a leader. And that, we're smart enough to figure this out, guys.
Well, we were smart enough to get GE to come in, but we weren't smart enough to keep him here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm really mourning that loss.
No, but it's just kind of funny how, like corporations can come in and say, hey, we're going to make these sweet deals, and then all of a sudden, we're going to renege on it. Like, we don't really feel like it. And it comes down to, like, making a commitment to, like, hey, is it better? Like, again, corporations are designed to make the dollar. They're not designed to make the environment green.
Right.
Unless your corporation's mission statement is to be green.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then by green, again, most corporations, to them, being green is making money.
Yeah, that's the kind of green
that's the green they're talking about. They're not talking about fixing the planet and taking care of future generations and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, like going off on a tangent. So are you the person that you said that's running for city council?
Johnny Barash.
Johnny Barash. What's his platform?
So mostly, there's a lot of riding the momentum of the anger from the WEMF shutdown, at least in terms of how I know him.
Okay.
I have not gotten into detailed talks about his opinions on everything, but I'd say generally leftist and generally for affordable housing and helping local artists stay in their communities and supporting that, as well as making sure there's a democratic process in the city council so that nobody just walks out when somebody else is talking like that.
Whew.
This is like getting our power, getting our voice back, basically.
Absolutely. And the thing is, there's something about being ignored.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something that
we all feel very ignored.
That's what black folks feel every day in America. We try
kidding.
to tell y'all, but no, again. But that's the whole thing, exactly. If people aren't even willing to listen to your side, and it's not even an argument, it's your truth. They're denying your truth. They're basically denying you.
Yeah.
They're saying whatever you got. No, it don't matter. Like you're nothing. Like and then, so that can be very frustrating for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I'm not a black person, but I mean, I get it.
Let's put it this way: we all black.
We all
All right. The only problem is some of us just don't know it yet. All right. That 99.9% DNA. It's a little pigment here. That's
Right.
all. That's all, really.
Well, I
Well-
certainly know what it feels like to be ignored, and I can't even imagine that magnified based on skin color. Like obviously that sucks, and everybody just needs to stop it.
Yeah.
And we haven't even talked about Trump.
No.
I don't want to get sick, right? Okay. Thank you.
All right. No, I'm gonna sing this song. People are people.
Right, I know.
Why should it be?
Yeah.
No, we should get along, but it's just crazy. But with this guy in the White House, that you mentioned.
We were talking about that this morning when you invited me, and then
Yeah.
all this local stuff came up, and we could just sit here and like rant about our.
No, I mean
for an hour, but you.
It's just it is unfortunate that again he did not win the popular vote. He actually won because the Electoral College, and again the Electoral College has screwed the American people. Like George W. Bush, Gore should have won, but whatever. The Supreme Court decided who's going to be. So it's just messed up that we've lost.
Well,
the electoral process has been lost to the people.
Yeah, that's a bigger stage than I have the means to play on or any of us do right now. We got to stay local for now, and then hopefully somebody will, or hopefully we can work together to fight this. But that is something that, as a longtime activist at Occupy, thinking I could change the world, thinking I could have a bigger impact. Oh my gosh, that is like that. I was wrong. We're just ants.
No. No. Dude, that's the thing that they want you to do is give up.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so
and I've been burnt out.
And that's the thing. It's like you gotta take it. Take your time. You gotta be patient. It's a long haul. Like, wait a second. 1492, and how many years did we become a nation? 1776. We're a corporation. So that's like 300 years.
Yeah.
All right. We have slavery. It was in 1776 to 1846, a few hundred years, and then they're like, all right, we're going to stop that.
And it took 2018 to elect our first black woman in Massachusetts to Congress.
So it takes a while for progress to happen, so don't give up.
Oh, good
Don't
talk.
get discouraged.
Thank you.
It is. Like the country, like when it first started, it's only white male property owners that could vote.
Yeah.
And there were things like we the people, all the people are supposed to be able to vote. So they gave the vote. We fought for the vote for women and men, African Americans, so everyone can have the right to vote. But
And now we just got to give felons the right to vote.
yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole thing. It's like going like, yeah, they paid their debt to society. They're rehabilitated supposedly. Like, why don't we give them their right to vote?
Yeah. That'll happen.
No, it will happen. We have
It's
to, because
happening in
again,
some
that's the
places.
thing. It's like making sure that people don't get their rights don't get taken away from them.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with the 13th Amendment. You ever seen that Netflix special, the 13th?
I actually haven't watched that one.
Please do.
Really?
It's really, 13th on Netflix. It's about the 13th Amendment and how they ended slavery. It really wasn't ended. What it was is basically they took off the physical chains and put in the mental chains of like debt.
Yeah.
And basically, if you were imprisoned, if you got held in prison, you can now become a slave for the prison system.
That's how it is.
No, that's how it is
Yeah.
now. Yeah, it's a privatized military.
Yeah. Even the
System.
public ones is basically like that.
All right.
but-
Yeah. No. Well.
So basically, I don't know how we are for time, but I do want to say with regards to this Cambridge City Council thing, this is kind of this all kind of developed this week. So stay tuned. Links will be posted. I hope you'll share them.
Absolutely.
For the campaign stuff, and you can follow Johnny Barash for City Council 2019. We're still kind of working out the kinks on it and sort of ironing out the organization. Definitely get involved if you want. We're going to be collecting signatures around Cambridge soon to get them on the ballot, and sort of hashing out the details, because this is kind of a last minute like, hey, this is
I'm glad you
momentum.
came.
So
I'm glad you came on We the People to actually tell us about this. And again, Lauren Pespisa, everyone, local activist.
I'll be around. You
yeah.
can't keep me off radio for long.
Well, you got Citizen Loudmouth, self-described Citizen Loudmouth. So happy to have you on the show.
I'm so glad to be here.
And it's like unfortunate, like we're almost out of time. We're actually out of time.
Yeah.
So we have to say goodbye to the people viewing us, but we're going to continue this conversation.
Yeah.
But definitely tune in, share with your friends, like us on Facebook, Disrupt Boston TV, We the People, We the People.
Yeah, and we'll bring people back too.
Yeah.
I'll be back, and we'll bring him on. We'll more
That'll be
stuff. We'll stay in
awesome.
touch. We're like the birthday buddies from the Young Jerks.
Yes.
Back back on the air, so it's going to be pretty sweet.
That'll be very awesome. Thank you again for coming to the show today, and thank you for tuning in. And you guys, peace.